Hey guys, what's going on? Today I want to share with you a project that I've been working on for some time, just a few weeks, but I had so many problems to solve. I thought it was worth sharing with you what I was working on. So I'm writing a search engine for game development. The reason is, as time goes by, many websites disappear that contain valuable information about game development. Some resources can still be found on the Wayback Machine, but overall, not easy to discover the most important learning material because it's scattered online. Blogs, websites such as gamasutra.com, which is now gamedeveloper.com, and in forums. So usually you would use a search engine to find such resources, but nowadays it does not work as much because they prioritize commercial results, or you get an AI summary, or the AI is just hallucinating. So to remedy this situation, I decided to create my own search engine that will index the most interesting resources for anyone who wants to learn about game development, game art, or programming. To contribute, you should just send an email to logicube@gmail.com with the links that you want indexed. And I'm going to show you exactly what I was talking about. So yeah, I have our little search engine, which is DuckDuckGo. And we are going to see if we can find something that I remember from like the 2010s. It's about Guild Wars, an article that someone wrote on a forum. I don't even remember the name of the forum, but we are going to try and find this. So the article was why nuking sucks. Alright. So already you can see that he does not respect what I typed. He's trying to be smarter than me, so that's what I was looking for. And then, okay, yes, that's still not it. Nothing here. Okay, I remember who wrote it, so we're going to type his name here. The name was Ensign, a player from Guild Wars Day, and yeah. Still nothing. Let's type Guild Wars for more context. Still nothing. Did I type it correctly? Yes. What to do? What to do? I cannot find anything. Oh, wait. We have something here. Let's see. Charles Ensign wrote a great article about why nuking sucks. Let's see. Wow, okay, so we have here, that's the reference that it found, but that's not the article itself. So Guild Wars is a cooperative game. It's like an MMO, but it's not really an MMO. Let's see, we have another entry here. It is a bit of the same thing, I think. And then Guild Wars 2, and then We find nothing. Oh, we have an archive here. Okay, we found sign. Okay, we're getting closer. But if I try to look at the titles here, I cannot find the article that he's been writing about this game design aspect. So I can show it to you real quick, but I already know it's not there. The only way to find it is to go on the Wayback Machine, and even then I have to know what is the name of the website, and it's just taking a long time. I'm going to click on this link, Guild Wars Legacy, and then it's just going to be a pain to trying to find this one article. We are in the forum here, but there is no way I'm going to find what I'm looking for. So we're going to close this. It was just to show you that when things disappear from the internet, it's really difficult to find what you're looking for. So I'm writing this search engine to try to solve this problem. So after I decided to write a search engine for logicube.org, I did a quick implementation with CSS, with Flask, SQLite backend, and then HTML, CSS, JavaScript frontend. The search engine will provide answers to questions about game development, game design, game art, programming language development, competitive programming, stuff like code forces, coding game and things like that. When you have the competitions, and things about some algorithm and data structures that are very useful, such as depth first search or A-star, pathfinding, things like that. I will index all of this. Also artificial intelligence. Some small language models, I will be indexing that stuff because I use it. And about the hardware, it will be single board computers like Raspberry Pi, and then portable consoles like Game Boy Advance mostly. I will be indexing all that stuff because I care about it, but I'm not interested in everything. So if you want to complete the database, you have to send a link so that I can review it, index it, and make it available for everyone. So like a search engine, you type some text in the search bar, and you will be presented with a list of links for search results, but curated by humans. So no AI hallucination, no commercial results, no bullshit. And that's the value of the project, to focus on this vertical niche, allowing users to find resources, blog articles, tutorials, YouTube channels that are difficult to find with Google or YouTube. So I'll show you the version 1, and then we're going to talk about some of the design questions that I had to answer while making this project. So this is the first version, you can see here. And if I type art here, it's going to filter everything that is related to art. So here we have Open Game Art, which is a website about just game art. So you have tutorials and resources you can download, sound effect, music, and pixel art stuff. And there is a lot of information. It's a big community. We also have just Wikipedia stuff like this. No, I don't donate here. You have enough money already. And then They should ask Elon Musk for money, not me. I'm too poor. No, don't you agree that I'm way too poor? Oh my gosh. Anyway, here we have Mr. Eunice, which is a content creator that does tutorials about pixel art. He's very good, very, very good. And yeah, so I should go back here and then I will show you like Lua. So for Lua, we have two results. Lua is a programming language here with its documentation and a lot of links. And then we have Love. Love is a framework that is written in Lua. So how it works behind the scenes, if you want to understand that, you have to go here. This is the first database, so I can show you real quick. Yes. So these are the links. Okay. So for a link, you have a URL, then you have a title and a summary. I didn't write the summary. It's not in the first version anyway. Then for a link you have a tag, so kind of the category. It can be a shooter, shmup, it can be a library, a framework, any tag that you want to put on it. And then I have tables that link the two with the IDs. Okay, and I was thinking to use a weight to kind of say, okay, this tag is relevant to this link by 100% or maybe 50% and have a kind of weight to calculate the relevancy of the results. And that's what I was going for with the first database. And that's pretty much it. That's what I had in mind for the first version. And so here we have a few questions, a lot of questions actually. So we need to think about, do we want the search engine to be collaborative like a social bookmarking website? And after doing some research about the disappearance of Delicious, it seems that most similar services died during the dot-com bubble bust. Some services still exist, like Pinboard, and you have new services like Raindrop, or even web directories like curly.org. I have a whole group of websites when I did my research, but I want to show you first Curly. Curly, actually, there is a search bar here. Interesting. I never noticed it. That's strange. The design of the website made it so I didn't see the search here. So we can go into games, and then you have to pick the right folder. What can we try? Okay, if I go to puzzle, oh, maybe video games, that's what we are doing, right? Let's see. Wow, maybe puzzle, we can find Tetris. Can we find Tetris? Yu-Gi-Oh! Tetris Evolution. We don't have the classic Tetris here, it seems. And so it's tied to Xbox. Oh, this is a GameSpot article, IGN, GameSpy. Okay. So I think they indexed some articles about Tetris Evolution when the game came out. But as you can see, it's a bit overwhelming, and you still don't have a search bar at the top. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I think they could do it better, where the search bar does not disappear. And so, can I find Guild Wars here? No, I cannot find the game Guild Wars. Oh yes, that's the website for Guild Wars, okay. So they have it indexed. Okay. Interesting. Alright, so that's curly. And then if we go to see the social bookmarking stuff, and that's a big topic. So social bookmarking is an online service which allows users to add, annotate, edit, and share bookmarks or web documents. Many online bookmark management services have launched since 1996. Delicious, founded in 2003, popularized the term social bookmarking and tagging. Tagging is a significant feature of social bookmarking systems, allowing users to organize their bookmarks and develop shared vocabularies known as taxonomies. And so the idea will be, imagine you're on the website and then you add links to the website, and then it's collaborative, everybody is doing it, and you can discover very interesting stuff really fast, and that's how Delicious used to work. Here is a video about Delicious. As you can see, you have to watch the video. Oh, okay. You would have to watch the video to see how it used to work. But overall, you have your links, network. I think you have a friend list. Must be the network stuff. And then a list of links with the tags below it. And the more people tag when you make a repository public, people can look at what you have. It's indexed by your name. So this is the user at the top, Richard Ciora. And then he has 35 links, and people can vote on the links if they like it or if they don't like it. And that's how the website evolves and becomes interesting. Obviously, you still need to deal with dead links and stuff like that, but that's how Delicious used to work. And then here you have a list of social bookmarking websites. So at the beginning, for example, Pinterest was different. I think there is... No, wait. Oh yes, it's Dig. I think I remember Dig. It's not doing social bookmarking anymore. And then all the dead websites are here. So Delicious is here. And then you have the Wikipedia page about Delicious. Here you have a website that explains what Delicious used to be and why it was shut down. Here on Hacker News, actually I had, let me see, like this, okay. So I highlighted a few parts of this resource. So here we have an explanation why Delicious went down. They had like 4 million users. Can you imagine that? 4 million users in the early 2000s, that was a lot. and then they got bought by Yahoo, and Yahoo mismanaged the project, and they could not ship features, and they just went down basically. Then you have another explanation here about what happened, but the most interesting one is current owner of Delicious. It's a guy who owns the social bookmarking website, which is called Pinboard, and he bought Delicious eventually after multiple acquisitions, and people could not manage it properly. He was able to buy Delicious and gain all the users for his own business. And you can find no, that's not this one. This is Pinboard we are talking about. This is the logo, and this is Pinboard. Alright. So it's $22 a year, and there are still a lot of people on this platform, but you kind of have to pay. I don't think you can participate on it freely. You have to subscribe. And then you have Pocket. Oh, I don't know what Pocket is. I think it's similar to something next that I had indexed here, which is Google Bookmark. So this is bookmarking but done by Google. So you can see October 2025, Google had created, after Delicious went really big, they basically tried to copy it, and then in 2021 they dissolved it because like Google search is so powerful, nobody uses Google Bookmarks anymore. You can choose bookmark in your browser, as we can see here. This is not a very large sample size, but people are just saying that they use their browser to bookmark stuff. And you can see just below a list of all the bookmarking platforms that used to exist in the 2000s. We can maybe zoom on it. Yes, Pinterest, Digo, Slashdot, Instapaper, Dribble, Flipboard, Plurk. Many of them I don't even know. I didn't know Medium existed actually. Okay, so Reddit, which is different now, but back in the day it used to do the same thing. And yeah, and Google Bookmarks is here also. Delicious here. So yeah, that's it for that. And then so we have Pinboard here. Raindrop is a new platform that does the same thing. So if you don't want to use Pinboard for it, you can use raindrop.io. Let's see if this one is free, starting from $0. So many people who still want to do social bookmarking, they use Raindrop instead. And what else? Okay, so this is a blog post about the dying social bookmark, and then they explain everything. If you're interested, you can read that too. And so finally, I found a project on GitHub which is named Buku. And Buku is kind of a web server application that you run on your own PC, and you have a front end that you can use to manage your bookmarks like this. But why would you run this application when you can do everything in the browser and synchronize across devices? It's really difficult to make a case for this. And then finally, you even have some research paper about social bookmarking. I don't want to read this. I'm just showing it to you because it exists and I found it. And just to say that social bookmarking used to be really big back in the day. And that's really the only way I can think to curate a list of links. Because if it's only one person doing it, there is so much on the internet that one person is not going to be able to index everything, so you have to use a web crawler, but then you have the issue that people usually don't like when bots are going onto their websites, and then you have to filter the results and you don't know if the result is any good. It's a real pain to get quality with when you use the crawler. So that was it. Social bookmarking, very important because it's very similar to what I'm trying to do, but that's going to require engineering effort, content moderation, because people are going to do whatever they want, and that's going to compromise the project, and I don't have time to deal with it. So I will think about it later. If the project is successful, maybe we do that. So you have to let me know that you like it by just putting a thumbs up on the video and commenting down below if you have any ideas how to make it awesome. I'm counting on you. Alright, let's continue. So how to scale and maintain the database. So editing the database entries directly with queries is doable. As I showed you here, I can go here and execute queries. Actually, I didn't show it to you. So this is the query that displays the data when we do the join. So we have the URL, we have we have the link, we have the tag, and we have link tag that joins the two tables. So with that we can get our list, and as you can see the tag name here, every time I will be searching for framework, for example. If I go here, I will find the two frameworks, which are Monogame and Lua. Yes, correspond perfectly to the database here. And if I search for C#, I should get only Monogame. So as you can see, that's how it works. So now let's think a little bit about what we were doing here. In this database, I will just go and enter everything manually, which is not the best way, best use of your time. Like here, I could write a query to insert data into it, or I could, I think there is a way to add a new row here. This is the filter, but maybe there is a way to add a new row that I have not discovered yet in this application. There is a plus somewhere, I don't know. But basically I will write the query and that's how I will do it. And that's tedious, that's prone to error, and then especially when you want to do the linking, between the two tables, doing it by entering the indices like this. Very easy to do mistakes, so I had to stop doing this, which is why I did a version 2, and we're going to see how I did it later. I can show you the new database schema. It's there actually. So what we can see here, we have an entity relation, an entity relation, entity attribute, and attribute kind. I'm going to explain how it works. Basically, it's based on ontology components. So you have individuals, classes, attributes, and relations. Let's go back to the script so that we don't lose the thread and I can explain things in order. So editing the database entries directly with queries is doable but error prone. Instead, since the database will not be open to users at the start, better to keep everything in human readable format, modifiable with a text editor. Then a script can parse the input and fill the database with facts as we add them. So the solution was simple. Instead of writing queries, I should just write some kind of text file, maybe JSON, and then once I have the data, put the data in the database. So the easiest way is to store JSON object in text files. However, I was annoyed with the commas, so I went and created my own markup. It's based on S expressions which are easy to parse. Components of ontology are classes, which are types, individuals, that's objects and instances, attributes, and relations. So the ontology components, basically what you think about here in terms of resources is this. Okay, so this is an entity, Open Game Art. It's an article or a website or something. This is a YouTube channel. Alright, so each of these is an entity. Then the link below it, and there can have many links. Actually, I want these to be tags. So I'm going, in this version I have links, and in the second version actually I have tags and links. Alright, so that's the second version of the website. And we have relations. So a relation is a relation between two entities. So in the database schema, we can see that a relation has a name, and I'm picking up that name and creating an entity relation. So I get a from and to. This means that if I take the new database here, I can say Lua is written in C. So the tag written in C is making the relationship between Lua and the C programming language. So I can link the two resources, which are two entities, by this relationship here written in C. Actually, I could filter it, but doesn't matter right now. So let's see the database schema here. So I explained how the relations work. I should show you the database too, but I'll do this later. So then you have attributes. Attributes were tags, links, or anything that I want to add as an attribute to the entity. So in object-oriented programming, you can think of it as something like the entity is an object and the attribute is an attribute or a member of the class a property of the object. So for each entity, I have several attributes, and each attribute has a kind, so I can group them. So links have the same kinds, and let's see, we have like scripted in, written in. What do we have? We have a game genre, which is a shooter here. We have genre real-time strategy. Here we also have action RPG and stuff like that. So each tag really defines the resource, and it makes it really easy and really fast to find a resource based on what is relevant to the resource that you put in the database. Right, that's it for this part. So the standard way to define such systems is done with RDF and OWL. So I didn't like them, too complex. It's easier to deal with JSON. So although SQLite can handle JSON, I wanted to go with a standard relation model because querying is easier. So what I'm trying to say is that this is a second database. As you can see, there is a lot more content in it. However, if I put JSON inside of it, I will have to extract the JSON object or do some kind of weird query with no SQL or stuff like that, and I thought this is way too complicated. That's not what I want, so I created a custom programming not programming language, it's a domain specific language. Basically it's here. This is the database in textual form. So we have a type, programming language, then you have the URL, which is a Wikipedia entry here, and then the summary. And then I use a script to parse the model. It's going to read the attributes, the relations, the entities, and an entity is the same thing as a type, so kind of cheating a little bit in that part, because it's really not different enough that I really need to create a new class, like writing class type here. That was not a good idea. Let's keep everything as entities. So eventually here I will remove the type because it's not necessary. But you know, it's not something that you can do perfectly the first time, so that's how it is. And then here we have the parsing code. Right. I'm not going to explain the code to you, and this is where I open the file, okay, and I read it, and then I start the parsing here. Wait, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to jump here. Right. Once I've done the parsing, then I have Python objects, okay? So Python dictionaries and lists and stuff like that. And then I can do several things. Actually, this is a populate database. So it's going to execute many SQL queries to fill the database with the objects that we loaded here. You can see we open the model, we read, we parse, and then after that we make a connection to the database, and then we call populate on everything. And this part here, SQLite database, this is a wrapper for the database connection where we can connect, close, execute a query, select one if we know that there is only one result, select by ID, select multiple IDs, select all, and stuff like that. So you can use SQL Alchemy, but honestly, SQL Alchemy is just too big, too bloated, and it's just a pain. Honestly, the project is so small. I don't need the overhead of SQL Alchemy. This is much better, much faster. And also something that I didn't do yet, but that I should do here is indexing the text fields. It's something that I will do later. Actually, in version 1, I think I did it already. Yes, I did it. You can see the tag name is already indexed. So it's something that I will do later. Before putting it in production, hopefully. And also in the second database, I have views. So here, this is the attributes. This is attribute kind. So it can be an attribute, a URL, or an image. Then you have all the entities by name and the type ID here. And you have here all the attributes. So it can be a URL, it can be a summary, or anything really. This is the tag action RPG. So the attributes can be anything. And then you have a joint here between the entity and an attribute. Alright, so this joint corresponds in the database schema to this here, entity attribute that binds an attribute here to an entity here with a value. That's the table that is presented here in readable form. Alright, otherwise you get only indices, but I wrote the query so that it's actually readable and queryable. When we have entity relations, only IDs, and to see it, I make a view, and the view is readable. You can see the difference here, entity relation, and excuse me, this is this table. It's not readable. I make a view of it, and now it's readable. And then this is a big table with every result. That's what I'm querying. And then you have relations here, return, scripted, or game. And then this is a system table. We don't care about this last one. Alright, let's continue. So, as I was saying, I don't want to use JSON. Also, I actually forgot something. In the first version, I was trying JSON like this. But as you can see, there is a comma at the end of each line. And it's really annoying because if you remove a comma accidentally, it's going to be an error, and I didn't want to deal with that crap, so I just decided to to make my own language, and I don't have to worry about any comma, and I can group things the way I want to. So as you can see, JSON is not always the best solution. You need, when you do software engineering, to create your own language if you need it. Alright, then let's talk about the database shows. So there is Postgres, MongoDB for NewSQL, and it's too heavy and too slow. Something that you have to know is that nothing beats SQLite if your workload is read-only. Read-only database, SQLite is the fastest. There is nothing better. So what we're going to do, we are going to index everything offline, and then we can process the submissions, and then update the database and swap it and restart the service. So that's how we are going to operate this. If you don't know SQLite database, if you have a lot of people writing and updating the database, it can be a problem. For my small website, it should not be a problem, but at least if it's read-only, I guarantee that I will never have performance issues. So we've already seen the new markup language that I created for this based on S expressions. So this format with parentheses everywhere is called S expressions, and it's based on the Lisp programming language created like a very long time ago, maybe in the 60s or earlier, I don't know. And I have to note a few things. So URL and image are variant of attributes because they encode either an image or a URL. So I wanted to make them a little bit more accurate to the fact that they are some kind of link. But after usage and testing, some changes are necessary. So as I already said, the types are not needed because I can instead add them as attributes, and then I can filter based on the attributes. So if I go on the new version, let's say I wanted only the games. Right now I don't have a way to do it. You see, there's nothing I can do. This is a game, the Battle for Westnap. It's an open source game. Oh, okay. Here it is. And actually, I'm going to be streaming that game. I already have 2 videos on the channel, LogicCube, and I'm going to stream it more very soon. Yeah, and I cannot do it the way that I want to do it. I cannot do it because the type is a top level attribute. As we've seen in the schema here, the type is a top level attribute. So if it was here, I could query it and filter it, but because it's here with the entity, see entity, the name of the entity, and then the kind. The type is here, video essay, and then the type is registered here. And I don't have a mechanism to filter based on this relation, so I need to move this video essay with the other attributes, which are tags, and then I can filter on it more easily. So that's an evolution that I need to do. Also, let's see. So I already talked about this. A container type is also needed. So yes, this link here it's about game working, and unfortunately it's just a list of links, you see. And in my current format, I cannot handle the list. I have to create something like list here and then put something inside of it and process it. Right now, my parser does not handle it, so that's an evolution I need to make on my custom language to handle this case. And if I go there and I do like game networking, actually that's enough. Yes, game networking. So we can see it here, and then this link here is pointing to this, but I cannot put all the links because I don't have a list. So what can you do? That's not ideal. Makes me sad, actually. Makes me a bit sad. Alright, but no worries, we are going to fix it eventually. No worries. Alright, so next thing, it's about security. Oh, security is like very important, guys. You should always worry about security. So we don't have users. Nobody can log in. So there is no way that we are going to expose user data. There is nothing to steal. Actually, I want to allow people to download the database. So when you go here, add a little button here and you can download this SQLite database here. Everything, all the data. Because it's something that I want to share with everybody. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Yes, all this data here, I will allow people to download it. And so because there is no user data, it's only public data, it's going to be safe by default. About the search interface, so when I started last month, I was learning to program in React.js, but it's too complicated. You have to do client-side routing, you have to do state management, and no, that's too much bullshit. Also, if you want to let your search result indexable, it has to be in the search bar here. You see, so if I were to use React, then the search bar can work because you can manage history, but then you have to write a lot of JavaScript code to make it work, and you can have bugs. And it's not friendly for search engine optimization, so Googlebot is going to work harder to index your website. This is not ideal, so we are not going to do that. React is out of the way, and testing is really also very easy because I did something special. Actually, in the backend, you can query it with this query here. So this is search input equal engine. Okay, so this gives me some kind of JSON result. All right. And here, if I do the same thing in the search bar, it's different, you see? I get the result, but it's inside the website. What's the difference? The difference is that this, wait, I should move it. Yes, this result here, this is an API. call. So it's API v2, you see? And whereas this, there is no API here in the link. So if you want to query the database and get JSON data, there is already an API endpoint here. And if you want the website, behind the scene, I call the API and I display the results like this. So I can show it to you in the code. So I have to go, I think, into templates here, search. So there is version 1 of the search, where I actually did the mistake, where here you see I'm updating the result directly inside the JavaScript. So the result is, if I come here, you see the search does not update, okay, because the JavaScript is updating the content. So this is not indexable. This result cannot be indexed because the search bar does not change. Whereas if I do the same thing here, I tap art and I click, then the search bar is updated and I get the result. So this is indexable. That's why what I did there with this technique here to update the page inside the JavaScript, that was a mistake. And in the second version here, I'm not doing that. So the code is commented. Actually, I was making a lot of progress. As you can see, there is a lot of code. And when I gave up on that, I saw it was a mistake. So now I'm using proper templating and I'm calling directly a function to fetch, get the result, and then the server sends back the objects already pre-built by the server. The server is sending the page already done and the JavaScript has nothing to do. There is no JavaScript updating trick in the new version, and it's going to be a better design. Something that you can only discover by making mistakes, and I fixed it. And there are more mistakes to fix and improvement to make, but you know, that's just normal development workflow. So as I said, the alternative and mistake that I made was to do it all in JavaScript, updating the search result without navigating. And although you could implement routing client-side, it's completely unnecessary to make it that complicated. It makes debugging harder and it requires the browser's console, so I already showed you the mistake. And then more interesting is the fact that the backend handles two endpoints, so we already seen it like this, and the JSON results. And then the two endpoints are handled by the same function, and therefore the search engine API is ready to be used without extra effort, which is what we did. And I already shown you how it works. So finally, future work, I need to work on aliases and multi-language support. So how are we going to do this? For aliases, it's going to be quite simple, I think. I just need to create an alias table. Let's show the schema rather, would be better. So I need to make an alias table, and then I bind the name to the entity or attribute or whatever needs an alias. And when I make the query, I check the alias table. If there is an alias, I replace it with the correct attribute ID, and then I perform the query. Or if it's an entity, I check the entity alias table, I find the ID, and I make the query. So that's going to work. So the alias will be ARPG for action role-playing game, RTS for real-time strategy, and stuff like that. And finally, I also need to think about languages. So if I want to add something like Polish language or Portuguese or Spanish, I can do that. I think it's going to be completely... Maybe, I'm not sure about that. Maybe I can add a language tag and add new tables, or I can make a completely different database. But I think it's not easy to know what's the best solution. For example, should I link the same resource in different languages? Like, for example, Wikipedia, you can have the same page in French or English, and I don't know what is going to be the best way to handle multiple languages, but it's doable. And then here is a list of all the domains we are going to be working on. Quite a lot of stuff that I want to be indexing. I already know a lot, and I found a lot of resources, and I will be writing a lot of articles too. So I will be blogging what I'm trying to say. Find also using Google or DuckDuckGo actually to find the more interesting stuff, to learn about that, or also programming patterns. And this is something that I do a lot, making new programming languages and implemented compiler. I will be talking about that. And all of this can be useful when you make a game, because there is there's an article named Warning here. So this guy, he did the same thing as me, and you can read this page, and he is explaining if you're going to create a game from scratch and writing the engine yourself, you have to implement everything: hash functions, strings, data, timers, math, random numbers generator, array, list, and all the data structures you need to implement, and like threading, atomic synchronization. You have to be a system programmer, and while you're doing this, you're not writing a game, you're not selling a game, you're not generating value or compression. I did it recently in my virtual machine. So when you're doing all this, you're becoming a godlike engineer, but you're still not making a game. So that's a warning. If you try to get good at programming, look at it. Only at the end of the page, we are like 70% down, and after 70% of the work, we start making the game. So yeah, this is a very, very good article by the maker of the Moonstone equation. I think the game is on Steam. I've never played it, but from what I've read here, that's very good engineering. And myself, I wish I finished my game, but I'm making too many different things to be able to focus on finishing my game. I'm really so much more interested in making this website. As you can see here on the side, all the things that I want to add to the website, and the old website is actually here. This is the old website where I talk about my programming language, how fast it is compared to other scripting languages, how to learn to make your language, how to build it, some things you can play. I have a Tetris demo somewhere, I think. Yes, I implemented Tetris and I'm blogging about it. And then you have a little video here where I show an automation of some kind of reverse Polish notation programming language that I made with my virtual machine and game engine. And you can see the execution here. So pretty cool stuff, but I want to update this website. It's been a long time since I made a significant update to it, so we are going to fix this with the new version here, and we are going to have a search engine as a top level feature so that it's very useful for you guys. And all I'm asking you to do is that if you find this project interesting, please smash the like button. Alright, give me a thumbs up, put a comment, and send me the links that you want indexed in this database, and I will make the database available for download, adding a little button here so that you can play with it however you like. You don't have to come to the website and use the web API. If you want to have it locally for whatever, feel free to download the database. And yeah, so for now, it will be just an email, alright, and then I will add a form where you can submit a link to be indexed, and I will process it in the background automatically. I think that's it. So I would be very happy if this video was useful to you, and I will be making more of this kind of content where I do a deep dive on a technical topic in some kind of the things that I always do. Sometimes it takes me a lot of time, especially this year, because I'm learning to do YouTube, and as you can see, I made some effort to have PNG characters that assist me. This guy here with his Logicube t-shirt is helping me making the video a bit more lively. I'm not the best at using him, but I'm doing what I can. And yeah, please support the channel and help me make the website useful for everybody. That's a lot of work. And thank you for staying to the end. Bye. Hey, sorry, I'm back. What happened is I forgot that if you remember at the beginning of the video, I showed you I was looking for a resource and I could not find it using a search engine. Actually, I already have it indexed here. Maybe if I type in sign, I don't think it's going to work. No, it doesn't work. If I type Guild Wars, that should be enough actually. Yeah, it's indexed here and it's in the Wayback Machine. So it's going to take some time to load, and we can see here I'm not rich enough. Ask Elon Musk or Warren Buffett. Alright, and this article is like very interesting game design and I don't know, game mechanics, whatever you want to call it. Can I use unclutter? No, unclutter doesn't work on this on this resource. I'll have to maybe zoom a little bit. Yeah, so he's talking about damage, the difference between assassin, elementalist, and the warrior class. Basically, people did not understand how to calculate damage. And in Guild Wars 1, the warrior will do a lot more damage than anything else. And he's explaining the mechanics of it, because people were thinking like, okay, elementalist is doing a lot of damage. He can, especially a single chunk of damage, like lightning orb, like he's talking about here. It's a spell that does a lot of damage if you get it, but it can be dodged, so there is a kind of balance there, but eventually you run out of energy and it's not as sustainable. He's talking about the energy regen here. So, and then you have the AoE side of things. So players are smart. They're not going to stay in those spells that does area of damage. If you're playing against the NPC in the game, they're going to stay in the same location and take a lot of damage, but against players, this is not going to work. It has worked once in a tournament, actually, but that was a one-off. Usually, it doesn't really work. And actually, you only take these skills to win at the end of the game, where there was a mechanic called like victory or death, where all the NPCs, you have NPCs guarding your base, and at the end of the game, the guild lord, which is like the king in chess, is going to march to the center with the NPCs, and it's going to be a big battle. So because it's a big battle with not so smart NPCs, you can take area of effect spells, but otherwise it's not the best way to kill your opponent if your opponent is a real player. So he's analyzing all that stuff, you see. This is one of the best game design resource that I've ever read that was done by a player and not a real game designer, right? So I wanted to find it, and I'm lucky that it's still on the Wayback Machine, and otherwise the search engine is not going to find it for me. And now that it's indexed in my database, I can find it whenever I want and read it. Same thing for Diablo. There is the Q&A by Wyatt Cheng for Diablo 3. As you can see, this is an important resource also, because he's explaining all the design decisions that have been made between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, and the influence of World of Warcraft in the design, the removal of the auction house. I will be making a video about it. So it's something that I wanted to have indexed and be able to find really quickly in the database when I'm working, and not have to go use a search engine which may not understand what I'm looking for and bring it to me immediately. So I could achieve the same thing with a bookmark and using my bookmarks, but it's not shared and it's not discovered. I cannot like share it with people and have people interested in making games finding and discovering this resource, which is the whole point of the project. So that's why I'm making this, and I hope I can get a suggestion from you guys and make it very, very useful. And that's all. So remember, if you want to subscribe. I'm going to really try to make better content. I'm still learning. It's taking me a lot of time, but that would make me very happy if you participate in the project and make this a success. Thanks again and see ya.